So the Haunting of Verdansk is a new limited time Halloween themed event in Season 6, which brings with it some cool new bundles, a trick-or-treat Warzone event which allows you to unlock a bunch of rewards and new Halloween themed game modes in Modern Warfare and Warzone, and in today's video we'll discuss how to complete the trick-or-treat event in Warzone to unlock all 16 rewards from the event as fast as possible, how to complete the trick-or-treat event as fast as possible, plus also you get the bonus Pumpkin Punisher blueprint for the Growl assault rifle by unlocking all 16 rewards. Now this event lasts for about the next 12 days or so complete it while you can. And like I said, in today's video I'm going to quickly explain the challenge for the trick-or-treat event, give the best class setup and game modes for this, and then loads of quick tips to help you get the challenge done much faster. So make sure you stick around until the end of the video so you don't miss out on any important tips, as I'm going to be showing you how to complete this event to get the 16 Warzone rewards and the Pumpkin Punisher blueprint, like I say, as fast and as quickly and easily as possible. Also, very quickly before we get into the video, I'm doing a COD Points giveaway for the Season 6 Battle Pass. If you enter this, you're in with the chance of winning the COD Points, and if you win you can put these COD Points towards some of the new Halloween bundles or anything else in the store, or even towards tiers or buying the battle pass or whatever. So if you're interested in that, go and check out that giveaway. There'll be a card on screen for this and a link in the description, so go check that out if you're interested. Okay, so how do we complete this trick-or-treat event in Warzone, and what's the best way to go about it? So basically the challenge for this is that you need to find all 16 rewards around Verdansk to complete this event, and once you do that by completing all 16 parts of the map, you'll unlock obviously all the rewards for each one of those areas, but also the bonus blueprint from getting all 16 rewards. So it's definitely worth the time, shouldn't take you too long. Essentially all you need to do is find crates throughout Verdansk that you can open, and then with each one there's a chance you'll find one of the rewards within the supply crates or loot boxes. So the next question is then, well, where do you find these loot crates? And we're going to quickly go through that now. So basically most named regions of the map will have a specific reward assigned to it, which you can see on the Halloween event tab or on the map in Warzone. So the following ones do have a reward associated with it, so you do need to go to these areas. So these are the Storage Town, for which you get a spooky scene calling card. There's also Boneyard, you get a jack-o'-lantern charm. Superstore, you get a corpse spray. Dam, you get a time of the season watch. Hills, you get a little demon charm. Airport, you get the Joker sticker. Train, which is obviously the train that moves around the map, you get the woodsman spray. The military base, you'll get the return to dust blueprint for the FR556. Hospital, you'll get a pumpkin peril calling card. TV station, you'll get an oak spray. Downtown, you'll get a chainsaw fiend spray. Quarry, you'll get a flashy fate sticker. Then for stadium, you'll unlock the killing moon emblem. For port, you'll get the ghoulish gift emblem, and then for lumberyard you'll get the scary patch, and then finally for gulag, if you do this you'll unlock the cleaver melee weapon. So that's the rewards for those 16 areas, and then like I say, the bonus for completing all 16 areas is that you get the Pumpkin Punisher blueprint, which I'll show you guys and we'll talk about a little bit later on in the video. So basically most of the locations in the Warzone map will have a reward associated with it, so you need to go to those regions, but the following regions do not have a reward, so don't bother or waste your time going to these areas. So train station, obviously the train itself does, but the train station part of the map doesn't, so avoid that. And also the Promenade East and Promenade West, those don't. Park doesn't have any reward associated with it. And then finally, Farmyard. And in addition to this, any land on the map that's between points of interest, so for example, land between, let's say, Storage Town and Superstore, the bit of land between them, that won't count because it's sort of like a no man's land. So only go to the specific points of interest that's listed in that checklist, which you can find in the Halloween tab or, like I say, next to the map in Warzone when you start playing. Don't go to any other areas. The other important thing to note is that you won't automatically get a reward for opening a supply crate within a specific area. So for example, at the airport, you don't have to go to a specific point within each part of the map. Like if you went to the airport, it's not like you have to go to a specific part of it. You just have to go and find loot crates within that area at the airport, for example. You can go to any supply crate you like, and the chance of unlocking the reward for that area is random. So each time obviously you open a supply crate, you get another chance at unlocking that reward for that area, and so the more crates you open, the better your chance of finding it in that area. So obviously this means that you won't always complete that area every game, even if you go to it, because sometimes you might not open enough crates. On average, I've probably found that it's normally about 3 or 4 crates maximum, sometimes it being only 1 or 2, but on average you're looking probably about 3 or 4 crates. Now you'll know when you have unlocked the reward for that area because the supply crate will have fire inside when you open it up, and also a red banner will pop up on the screen. Similarly, for when there's like a precision strike or a cluster strike, it will say like strike incoming. It's that kind of banner, but it will say that you've collected the reward for that area, so for example airport or superstore or whatever. However, it's worth noting that if you die just after opening a crate that actually counts towards the reward, it can stop the banner popping up properly. So if this happens, just look at your checklist when you bring up the Warzone map to see whether the area has been ticked off or not. Because I think once, maybe Superstore for me, I think I opened the box and I like immediately immediately died, so either the banner popped up very quickly and I didn't see it, or it just didn't pop up. But I did see the fire in it, so I was pretty sure it counted. Then I checked my map and I could see that it did count. Now once you've collected the reward for that region, so for example if you unlocked the watch at the dam, each reward is linked to that specific area, you can leave that area and then go on to the next one to collect the next reward. But you need to be aware that every now and then when you're opening up these supply crates, a jump scare can pop up on the screen for you. There's a few examples of this I had, so I'll show you one of them on the screen. So it's like this. The other thing I noticed is that the jump scares can be different each time, so I believe most of the times they were different types of jump scares, so it wasn't exactly the same one each time, which made it a little bit more suspenseful. So just be wary that this might happen when you open up a crate, and obviously the more you expect it, the less it's going to make you jump. So just watch out for this, because I'm sure it does make a lot of people jump. So I'm glad you guys have stuck this far into the video. I've explained the basics of how to do this event, but the problem with this challenge is that supply crates can be very limited for certain areas of the map, and lots of players can often go and drop to these same points, and so it's easy to die from these enemies, but also you're able to open less crates because everyone's competing for it. So what's the solution for this? Well, I'm going to give you guys the best class setup and game modes for this challenge, and then I'm also going to go into giving you lots of quick, excellent tips to help you complete this so much faster, to find more crates and open them up so that you can get this challenge and event done quicker. So don't miss out on these upcoming tips. Stay tuned until the end of the video. We're first going to talk about the class setup, the game modes, and then we're going to be talking about those all important tips. So let's quickly go over the class setup then. So for the primary, I would put on something like an assault rifle or an SMG. It just allows you to be quite competitive against the players. It doesn't really matter what attachments you use, as long as you've got some good attachments in case an enemy is trying to shoot at you and you need to shoot them so that you can get more crates unlocked. You basically just need to be able to shoot back if someone shoots you. So put on whatever attachments you want. These will help you take down enemies that get in your way. You can either look up some guides for that, or I've got some best class setups on my channel, so feel free to go and check that out. Choose some good attachments that you're happy with. For the secondary, I've put on a melee weapon, e.g. the combat knife, and this is just so that it helps you to run faster if needed. This is important, and I'll explain about that in just a minute. So combat knife can be useful. Obviously this whole class setup isn't too important, but it will just help you get this challenge done just a little bit faster at times, so it is worth paying attention to this bit. So for the perks, I've put on double time in perk 1, which doubles the duration of tactical sprint, so it just allows you to move around faster, which is good. We'll talk about that more in a minute and why that's important. In the second perk, I've put on Ghost, which allows you to be undetectable by UAVs, radar drones, and heartbeat sensors, so this basically just allows you to stay off the radar for enemies. And then finally in the third perk, I've put on Tune Up, just so that you can reduce the charge time of your field upgrades by 40%. You basically just earn your field upgrades faster, and again, like I say, we'll explain in a minute and why that's important. So what about the equipment then? So for the lethal and tacticals, I've gone for the C4 as a lethal, just so that you can kill enemies if you need to, or you can kill yourself if you need to. Again, we'll discuss that more later. And then for the tactical, I've gone for a stim shot, so that if you get injured you can heal yourself without having to die and respawn to try and find these crates. Now for the field upgrade, I've gone for Dead Silence. This gives you quiet footsteps and you also run faster towards the enemies. Like I say again, this is very important, and I'll explain why in just a couple minutes. And for the mode, I would go for Warzone Plunder, because this gives you infinite lives. You have your custom loader immediately from spawn, and there's no gas clouds or circles closing in or anything like that to worry about, so it's much easier to find these crates. Now let's move on to the best tips for this strategy then. So obviously you have to know which supply crates count and which ones don't. So like I said, obviously certain areas of the map will have crates that count, but it's not as simple as that, because the ones that count for a specific area will either release confetti when you open them, meaning that you didn't get a reward that time but you might next time, or they'll have fire inside them and a banner pops up on the screen, which means that counted and you got the reward. And obviously that means that you've completed the challenge for that area and you can then pick up the reward and move elsewhere. But you also have other crates that you can open, and these won't count, and the reason you'll know they won't count is because there'll just be a little bit of smoke that occurs when you open them, but there's no confetti, there's no fire or anything like that, so it just looks like a normal supply crate basically. So if they're like that, they're just a little bit smoky, nothing else, it means that you're too far away from that specific area of the map. So for example, if you're in a building outside of Storage Town itself, then it's sort of that no man's land, like I was saying, between areas, and so it might not count. So you need to go closer to that part of the map to get it done. So if you're seeing smoke in the supply crates, it means you're too far away from that area, and you want to avoid these normal supply crates as they're a waste of time. Now at the same time, you can often have lots of people dropping into one specific area of the map, so try to get there as quickly as possible without dying. And if you suspect that lots of people are going to be dropping to the same point on the map, then try to go to a part of the area that's less well known or less likely to be visited first. So for example, instead of the main building in an area, are there any smaller buildings that might still have crates in them to the side of that area that will still have supply crates? You're still within that region, but as in you're not in the main hotspot that everyone goes to. So try and think a bit more outside the box. Are there any areas towards the edge which are less visited and you're more likely to get supply crates from there without having to contest other people? Because if so, then obviously that makes it a little bit easier. Now if you think there's not going to be many people dropping to a specific point. You just want to go to that part that has the most likely number of supply crates, i.e. a big building or somewhere with lots of crates. So the more you go to a part of the map, you know it better and you'll know where the crates are if you're not successful the first time. And basically with this challenge and this event, what you're doing is you're effectively just hunting down supply crates. So I suggest you turn down the announcer voice and music volume, both of them to 0, and keep the sound effects volume up to full. And this way it's easier to hear the humming noise of an unopened crate, because when they're not opened they'll make that humming noise. Obviously the closer you are to them, the louder the sound. Obviously you follow the sound until it gets louder and you're closer to the crate and you find it, because in the normal way it's much more difficult if you have all of those volumes up with the music and announcer and all that. It's really difficult to hear them because you've got gunfire, kill streaks, music playing in the background, and then an announcer rambling on about pointless rubbish about something happening on the map. It's just too much and it's really difficult to hear those crates. So this makes it a lot easier to find those supply crates. So definitely turn the volume down for those other two parts of the sound. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a way to get rid of other sounds on the map because they all come under sound effects, so you can't get rid of like kill streaks or shooting or explosions or anything like that, unfortunately. But it makes it much easier to hear those crates than with all those other sounds going on. So definitely recommend that. And don't pick up scavenger contracts for a specific area either. This is because the supply crates it asks you to find will, as far as I'm aware, not count towards finding a reward item for that area, i.e. these crates won't count towards the event. And actually they may end up taking crates away from you that you would have been able to find and use towards the event and possibly getting a reward out of it. Whereas these ones, they seem to not count. Like I said, they've got that normal smoke. I've never been able to find any rewards in any of these, so I think it's highly likely that these do not count. And so just avoid them and only go for the normal supply crates that aren't found through contracts. The only thing they may be useful for is the first time you're in an area, and if you're not really sure where there's any supply drops, you can obviously use this contract, see where they are, and then next time you're there, if you still need the supply crate, you can do that. But I would highly recommend avoiding these because these just take away from the supply crates that you need. So you don't need them basically. And I'd also recommend trying to complete regions that are close to each other on the map first. So you want to complete the areas logically rather than just jumping from place to place all over the map. You want to do one and then the next one closest to that, and then the one closest to that, and then the one closest to that. And that way you can work your way around the map without hopping around, because that makes it a lot more time consuming and a lot more difficult, and you're less likely to succeed doing it that way. Now once you find the reward for that area of the map, you can use an ATV or a chopper or another vehicle to travel, ideally a chopper or an ATV, but any vehicle really, to travel to another close area to start searching there for the next reward. Or alternatively, what you could also do, if the area you need is further away and it's going to take you a while to travel there, you can always just kill yourself with like C4 or something and then respawn in, and when you drop in again, you're in the sky, you parachute down and you can parachute over to where the next place is. It's easier doing that if it's further away than just traveling there on foot or in an ATV or whatever. But obviously if you've got a chopper, that can be useful and it's quick to do it that way as well. So it's up to you, whatever's fastest. And when you start a match, you want to ideally base your strategy for that match, you know, in terms of finding crates in a specific place. You need to base that strategy off of the flight path. So that means, you know, when the plane comes in, which way is it coming in from? Where does it start? Where does it finish? Because you want to avoid the areas ideally that are close to the flight path, as these are going to be much more common with people going there. Lots more people are going to reach them there, and there's more competition, you know, for loot boxes, and also you're more likely to die. So you want to avoid places that lots of people go to, so avoid going to those places near the flight path, especially at the start and in the middle. You know, ideally try and do the ones that are further away from the flight path first, because less people are going to be going to those because it's more difficult to get to. And once you do that, like I said, you can then move around logically by doing the next closest area and the next closest area, and that way it should help you get those areas done a little bit faster. The other thing is that if you're struggling to find any remaining crates in a specific area, or there's a few areas you need to complete on the checklist but you're still not really having any luck with it, it may be easier to just quit the match and join a new game, a new lobby, and then start fresh again. So, you know, if you're thinking that's the case, and just quit the match if it's unlikely that you're going to find any more crates, because sometimes if you leave it a few minutes, you go to one place obviously, and then when you leave it a few minutes you try and go somewhere else. A lot of people have already cleared out that area, there's not many crates left, and especially those smaller regions with less crates, it's really difficult to find any left. So if you think you're not going to have any luck, just quit the match and start again. But obviously saying this, try to leave the busier areas or those with limited crates for the start of a match, and the bigger ones, so bigger areas with more crates or less people going to them, you want to try and save these for the middle or end, because you've got more chance with doing those in the middle of a game because there might still be crates left, especially somewhere like downtown. There's a ton of crates there, but some of the smaller places or more busy places are going to run out of crates very quickly, and then it's not possible to get that area done in that match. So obviously try and do the more competitive ones first if you can, and then try and do the other ones later. So for example, what I mean by this is that places like the train, you know, the train that moves around the map, that's really only got a few crates on it, so that's very limited, you know. So you want to be doing places like the train, but also Storage Town, Superstore and Dam. These should all be prioritized as they're harder to complete, they're more competitive, they're smaller areas, there's less crates and more people visiting them. So you need to do these ones first ideally, but obviously this all depends on the flight path and stuff like that as well. So you need to put all these tips together. If you can, you know, try and do these ones first. Once you get these ones out the way, the other ones are easier. And like I say, obviously because they're more competitive, you'll ideally need to do these ones at the start of a game. The problem I noticed was that for somewhere like the train, it was fine. You know, you just start a game, you go to the train, there might be a few people going there, but you know, you'll easily be able to quickly open a few crates and it shouldn't be too difficult. But places like Superstore and Dam, these were really difficult to get the area done in my opinion, and that was just because even though I went there at the start of a game and I was getting there as fast as possible, you'd have lots of people trying to compete with you, especially somewhere like Dam. Even though it's kind of spread out a bit more, there's actually not many crates in that area that count, and so you'd have lots of people fighting over them. By the time I've opened 1 or 2 crates, which may or may not have counted, you know, for all the times I tried at first it didn't, I'd then try and find more crates and other people would start to join and they'd open all these crates, and by the time I get anywhere else they've all gone, and it was just really difficult. So places like Dam and also Superstore, that's quite jumbled, but there's not a ton of crates there either, and lots of people go to that small area, so these are very difficult. Storage Town wasn't as bad, and then like I say, train wasn't too difficult at all, but just keep this in mind and try to get them done. If you see an opportunity where you think not many people are going there and it's worth doing, then obviously go to that. But obviously by the time this video is out, it might be a bit difficult and more people might be fighting for other areas, but that was what it was like for me. But you know, like I say, with all these tips now in hindsight, it will be a lot easier. Another important point I just wanted to quickly bring up was that obviously it's worth trying to kill any people in the area if you can, but don't do that and prioritize that over finding crates. Your overall goal is to find these crates and get them opened as quickly as possible. So if you think there's enemies in the area and you might get away with it, just quickly open a few to get them done, because you might end up just completing it very quickly. So don't mess about with anything else, just quickly try and rush to open these crates. If you think you're probably not going to be able to survive doing that and it's unlikely you're going to get it done, it might be worth being a little bit more strategic, waiting, slowing down, trying killing the enemy and then focusing on the crates. But obviously this depends on the number of people there and what guns they've got and how pushy they are. It just depends on all these factors, but you've got to balance between killing people to survive and also rushing to get the crates done without other people taking them. So it's really difficult sometimes to balance that, but you know, like I say, with these tips it should be a lot easier. And then if you complete all 16 areas of the Warzone match and collect all of the rewards, you'll be given that bonus Pumpkin Punisher blueprint for the Growl. It's a really nice bonus reward. It's a very decent epic grade blueprint, and it's also got a great set of attachments and a really nice aesthetic to the weapon as well. So I'd highly recommend trying to complete this event as you can to get all these cool rewards like the cleaver and the FR blueprint and so on and so forth, as well as this one. It's definitely enjoyable doing, and I'm glad I got all this stuff done. So you know, hopefully that should help you a bit with getting this event done a bit faster and get all this done as soon as possible. But I'm also doing a video showcasing the new SAW bundle in Modern Warfare and Warzone and whether that's worth the money. So if you're interested in seeing that, or if you think you're buying a bundle such as the SAW one for this Halloween event, then go check that video out. Hopefully that might be useful to you guys. And then also feel free to enter my giveaway. There's rules in the description for that, and also a card on screen for that video to be in with a chance of winning some COD points towards any item in the store, such as the new Halloween bundles like the SAW one and other ones. So if you're interested in that at all, do my giveaway. Feel free to check out that showcasing video, and also feel free to check out any guides on my channel on how to level up tiers fast to get the contraband within season 6 in that battle pass. And then finally, if you need to check out any challenge guides for unlocking any DLC weapons such as the new Jack 12, I've got lots of those guides on my channel, so check them out if you need, and I'll put a playlist in the description for that and a card on screen. So I hope you found this useful. If you did, be sure to leave a like on the video, it really helps me out, and feel free to subscribe with your post notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any upcoming Modern Warfare, Warzone or Black Ops Cold War videos. Thank you all so much for the support, and hopefully I'll see you all on my next video.